your general thoughts overall? Good, bad? What do you think?
I didn't think we played very well. No disrespect to them. I thought they played really hard and made some hard shots and so forth. We just we don't make rotations. We don't guard the ball as well as we need to guard the ball. We didn't rebound it the way we're capable of rebounding it, and we turned it over 18 times again, which has got to stop.
So Trey just told us he practiced a little bit yesterday. It's sort of the first time or the most he'd gone in practice.
Yeah.
So what did you see out of him, and did he play more minutes than you anticipated today?
No, I mean obviously we talked to the medical staff and they said, play him as long as you want to play him. I didn't particularly want to play him a lot at once. That's why I took him out and then put him back in. But he needs it. He needs to get in shape, and he needs to get back in the flow of things. But he's a talented guy.
Looking at that group that you put out on the floor, that's a pretty athletic group, top to bottom. I mean, is this one of your more athletic teams?
Bob, I think we're athletic, but we're not skilled. I guess you always think back to the team that got you where you want to go, and you got a 6'9" guy in Ebanks. You had Deshaun. You had Wellington. We had good size. We had some guys coming off the bench with size, and not just size but skill. When that team really took off is when Wellington Smith really got serious about fixing his jump shot, and now you got basically who was our center can go out there and make shots, and that drug their big away from the basket, and obviously, but he could still block shots, and just a different. I don't know. We were sitting and watching Duke film. This was on the way to where we wanted to go. But we're going to play Duke in Washington D.C. And my phone rings at like 3:30 in the morning. We're all in there watching film, and it's Jamie Smulligan. And he said, "Coach, I've been watching film," and that floored me. That Jamie was watching film at 3:30 in the morning. That was the first thing that floored me. And then he said, watching this film, we'd match up way better if Wellington started instead of me and he played center instead of me, which I thought was fantastic. But that's why that team was really good, and the team after it was really good because they really did do things to help the team rather than try to do something for themselves.
The 18 turnovers too.
Bad passing. No, we just do dumb things. We just. I wish Emmett was here. Emmett's got a terrible habit of putting it over his head and passing it, which he's gotten away with because of his size. But it seemingly every time he puts it over his head to pass it in, when in scrimmages or whatever, somebody deflects it. And he's got to stop doing that. That was one of many turnovers. You can't throw to people's feet. You can't. We tried to force it inside too many times. We want to throw it inside. We want to get those bigs involved and kind of get them to feel good about playing there. But they did a bad job of posting and showing, and we did a bad job of getting the ball to them.
Coach, you see a spurt like what James had there defensively in the second half, where he basically, two hands of block out of it, down, and then catches another one above the rim. It's easy to make the comparison to what Sagabal did, but I'm sure that's probably not where you're ready to go yet. But I mean, what are we talking about with James? I know you've said he's bouncy, but he kind of showed he's a little bit more than bouncy tonight.
Well, I would think it'd be a terrible mistake to compare him to Sags, but James is getting better and better, and James he is bouncy, and he's quick off his feet. We just, he played tennis. He was a tennis player. He was a tennis player, and got recruited to come over and play at a prep school. And fortunately for us, the prep school coach is a West Virginia guy and a very dear friend of mine. And he called me and said, this guy's getting better and better, and I mean, he can really block shots. And he said, and then other schools came in and tried to start recruiting him, and he said, Hugs, you need to take him, before something stupid happens. And so we took him in without really seeing him play.
Ever see him play tennis?
Don't want to.
Bob, you had some lineups with him and Trey, or him and Jimmy or Mo, two big guys. That was maybe difficult for you last year, but the numbers you have this year, you can do it and be a little bit like you have been in the past, I'm guessing.
Well, Mike, I was hoping when the season started that we could play three of those guys together, and maybe we still can. I don't know, but it sure makes it harder for people to score. If we could put those three that you mentioned, would be fine. Put Mo out there. I mean, Mo changes a lot of shots, and I think Jimmy got a little frustrated. But I think Jimmy's going to be able to do really good things for us as well. So that would give us four guys that we could kind of sub in, play. We could do different things.
Trey would be your three there.
Trey could be the three, yeah.
Kind of going off that, Emmett said that he's kind of, I don't know what the word was, positionless. He could play anywhere from maybe like 3 to 5, maybe. Sounds like he can play 2 or something. He's that ball skill. Well, he was impressed by how much he can move around and do different things.
Listen, I love him to death, but out there's no way he's going to play 5.
But
Could you see him guarding somebody like Jimmy? We wouldn't even be able to see him.
Trey. Trey.
Trey?
Yeah. Emmett said that Trey has that.
Trey has it. I thought you said Emmett had it. I thought Emmett had lost his mind for a minute.
But he does have that type of skill.
He's not he'd be better guarding a 4, a 3, a 4 than he would be a 5.
What did you think of Trey? Did we just see a glimpse, or how much more is left for him?
He's practiced one day and a little bit. I think he's got a lot of. He's going to get a lot better. He has gone in and getting shots up. I mean, he's really done a good job of going in and getting shots up. He's been very, very diligent with his rehab. I think he's going to get a lot better.
So, if I can ask you something real quick. Other successful coaches that you've gotten to know and been associated with, they'll have twice as many wins as they do losses over their career, maybe even more than that. But you and other coaches, I'm sure, will probably remember losses more than the wins. And to those outside of the game, that might sound stupid, silly, but to coaches it makes sense. I guess I'm wondering why.
Were you talking about you being one of those stupid, silly people outside that,
No, I mean,
I would agree with that.
because you're talking about 900 some wins, and
I don't honestly. I don't pay that much attention. I mean, obviously, it's people bring it up to me, but I don't. I don't really pay that much attention. I've been blessed. I mean, when you think about it, you know, everybody's like, "Oh, he's a great coach. He's won this many games." A lot of people would have been a great coach had they coached Kenyon Martin and Nick Van Exel and the guys that I was fortunate enough to coach for a good time, to have the kind of teams that I have, to, you know, to be able to come here. And, you know, my first year, you know, once I got Joe kind of on my side. You think about it, I had Joe Alexander and Deshaun Butler, and then when Joe graduated, then we spent a lot of time with Wellington, getting Wellington to be what we needed, you know, him to be, and they were great. On top of that, they were great guys. They were absolutely wonderful guys. So
Are the losses more memorable to you?
absolutely,
than the wins?
absolutely.
I think that's why. I mean, why is that?
I could, if you wanted one day, you know, I could give you a whole bunch of losses I had at Walsh College and Akron. And I could give you some from Central Florida, and I wasn't even the head coach. So, yeah, I mean, it sticks with you. A lot of them were like real close. You know, it was, you know, I mean, how many times just since I've been here has people thrown the ball in at the end of the game and banked it in against us, and it's could be a whole lot more wins if those kind of things don't happen, but they happen to everybody.
With all your newcomers, I think you only have 2 that have ever been in Peterson Event Center. So do you have to educate them Friday or just go to it?
No, we're just going to go play. You know, it's when the first time we went to Pitt, when I went to Pitt from here, it's what I told them. It's not like, you know, that everybody talked about the crowd and this and that. It's like coming in here, people coming in here. Those people in the stands can't block a shot, can't make a steal, can't score a goal. Okay, so they make some noise, big deal. You know, let's worry about the task at hand, which is beating the people on the floor.
First 30 minutes, I think they've got like 30 points. Obviously, you know, they've thrown some buckets in the last 10 minutes, but defensively during that first half and the first 10 minutes of the second half, did you like what you were seeing there? Because I know you've been kind of talking about defense.
No, I didn't. Made bad rotations. We didn't get to the ball the way we're capable of getting to the ball. No. It was almost like you're sitting there saying, damn, we ought to play zone. We suck. We ought to play zone. That's what you do my estimation, that's what you do whenever you can't guard anybody, you play zone. Some sort of zone. But we didn't. We didn't guard. We didn't guard the way we're capable of guarding. I mean, I really think Keedy Johnson could be one of the premier on-the-ball defenders in the country. And he had a bad day. Eric caused himself to have a bad day. No.
Anything else?
Yes, sir.